What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best shatter strike Spellblade build in last Epoch Season 2. So in this guide I will give you a quick overview of the setup, then I will explain what skills and upgrades should you focus on, then as well we'll see what is the best gear and how to get it for the end game. And then finally we will go over the passive tree, stats, your skill rotations, and even what idols and blessings should you use, so we would be able to get the highest damage possible and much more. Also, if you're interested in buying other PC or console games with 50 or 70% discount, then check out Instant Gaming. For example, I want to buy Elden Ring, so we just click on Add to Cart, then click Pay, then input our details and pay. After payment is complete, we will receive activation key, then copy and paste the key in, and it's that simple. So what are you waiting for? Click my link description and check out Instant Gaming for yourself. This is a powerful mage that brings the freeze and melts enemies in seconds. By harnessing the chilling power of the ice and dual wielding swords, the shatter strike will obliterate the enemy packs and shred the bosses in no time. To fuel the onslaught, we will use mana strike to rapidly regenerate mana and ensure that you can keep spamming the shatter strike without slowing down. Then also we will utilize the enhanced weapon to amp up our damage potential with strong offensive buffs. Also, the teleport will give us a swift responsive movement across the battlefield. However, when things get dicey, the flame ward is your key offensive cooldown. To use it against big hits, the best part about this build is that no unique items are required for it to work. Although, if you want to maximize your DPS, then get gear like the Kestrel, the Bone Clamor Barbute, Siphon of the Anguish, Shatter Chains, and the Nihils. And all in all, the Spellblade build will deliver solid clear speed and devastating single target damage. While it does need some investment to become tanky, if you're chasing a high DPS melee powerhouse, then this build is absolutely worth trying. So let's start off with our skills, and we are going to be using the Shatter Strike, which is our primary damage dealing skill. We've chosen nodes like the Whiteout, which makes each one of our casts hit 3 times. That obviously will dramatically boost our output. Then to further enhance its power, we will invest into the nodes like the Cold Presence, Shiver, the Cold Steel, Absolute Zero, Breath of Cold, and Lingering Chill, each one stacking more and more cold damage potential. And we're gonna round it all up by ramping up our attack speed with the Ice Blink for super quick and relentless strikes. Then second, we got the Mana Strike, which is your go-to tool for restoring mana. To maximize its efficiency, we will invest into nodes like the Arcanist Blade, the Critical Mana, Bountiful Victory, and the Mana Drain, because all of these will significantly boost your mana generation. And for smoother combat flow, pick up the Swift Sap and the Sprite Blade to speed up your attacks and expand your AoE. Then next we're using the Teleport, which serves as your primary mobility skill, with nodes like the Crystalline Passage, Resonant Plasma, and the Time Dilation. Each passive will not only move you swiftly but also grant you a temporary boost to cold resistance and flat armor. And to keep your movement snappy, the Comet Crash will slash the cooldown, letting you blink around the battlefield with ease. Overall, this pairs exceptionally well with the haste effect provided by the Kestrel that creates a smooth and a quick repositioning. Then next we got the Flame Ward, which is your core defensive ability, by offering impressive damage reduction that makes you exceptionally durable, well, at least while it's active. Its quick duration means the timing is key, so you will want to make the most out of it. The Dual Aegis node is also essential, giving you an extra charge to fall back on tough spots. Plus, with the Infusion and the Frost Ward, the setup not only protects you but also adds a bit of extra cold damage into the mix. And then finally we're using the active Enhanced Weapon, which gives us a huge damage boost while it's active. It grants percentage increased melee attack speed through Celerity and adds flat melee cold damage via the Frost brand. And to keep it running consistently, we will pair it with the Kindling Blade for automation. With investment into the cold recovery, you can maintain the non-permanent uptime. But be sure you pick up the Cleansing by the Elements before you grab the Artanis Bloody Nymph for maximum effectiveness. Next up we got the passive tree, and this is how it should look like in the mage category. We mainly went with nodes that gives us bunch of health and mana, more ward retention, increased cast speed, and fire and lightning resistance as well as intelligence. Then next we got our sorcerer category, and we get this one just for the node that gives us more mana and ward per second. Then next we also want to go with the rune master category, again just for this one that gives us more health and less damage taken from ignited or the chilled enemies. And then finally we're also heavily investing into the Spellblade category, with all these points allocated like this. So we want to go big on increased fire, cold and lightning damage, more intelligence and ward gained. Then also we need dexterity, increased melee attack speed, more melee cold damage and cast speed. Next up we also got the Weaver tree, and I'm still experimenting so it's not fully done, but for right now this is the most optimal way to build it for pretty much most of the builds. So we start right here, then go like this, then pretty much make this type of circle and then end it at around this point. To make the most out of the Weaver's Will item, we want to get items with a higher Weaver's Will, which is closer to 25 to maximize potential upgrades. Also, what at least I like to do is run level 100 zones to increase the chance of finding the higher Weaver's Will item, then focus on the monolith timelines with unique echo rewards for the item type you desire. And lastly, you could also increase the timeline corruption to enhance the reward quality even further. But overall, this Weaver's Will tree will offer an alternative path to enhancing unique items, which allows you to grow stronger by doing specific endgame content. Next up we got the idols, and this is how it should look like. At the first glance, this might seem like a bit crazy, but trust me, getting these exact idols will boost our performance by a lot. So we want to get 14 minor Weaver idols that are size 1 by 1, and with modifiers like the ward retention and ward per second, as well as health and more mana. Then next we want 2 more small Weaver idols that are also size 1 by 1, and this time we want increased healing effectiveness and health, as well as void resistance. And lastly, we also want unique adorned silver idols that are size 2 by 2 and called the Throne of Ambition with modifiers that gives us stacks of ambition every second. Then also we get max 20 stacks of more fire and cold damage and much more. Next up we want to go with the blessing setup, and this is how it should look like. So we want to go with the Grand Emptiness of Ash that have critical strike multiplier. Then second we got the Grand Light of the Moon that gives us more mana. Then next we get the Grand Resolve of Humanity with more to all resistances. Then next get Grand Resolve of the Grail with physical resistance. And lastly get the Grand Body of Obsidian with more armor. Next we have our equipment, and for the head on the helmet we're using the Bone Clamor Barbute with armor, dexterity, reduced bonus damage taken from the crits, as well as intelligence and necrotic resistance. Then for amulet we got the Nihils with increased health, mana and movement speed, as well as critical strike multiplier, more levels to all skills, as well as mana regen and more to all resistances. Then for weapon, we're going with the dual wielding sizers of the Atropos. These swords are in both hands and gives us melee attack damage, attack speed, chance to apply slow, and chance to apply shred. This weapon provides huge damage and you can farm it from the Last Wood Folly of the Vaven Echoes. Then for chest armor, we got the Kestrel with armor, dexterity, more levels to shatter strike, increased cold damage and more to health. This item has bunch of great stats that allow us to get the haste buffs when our nodes like the teleport and Comet Crush are fully maxed. Then for our first ring, we got the Siphon of Anguish with more to all elemental resistances, more intelligence and dexterity, as well as increased movement speed and increased leech rate. Then for the belt, we're using the Shatter Chains with armor, more potion slots, increased health, increased armor and more damage. Because of the Shatter Chains and the Siphon of Anguish buff, we will boost our DPS significantly, thanks to their Doom synergy. Then for the second ring, we got the Red Rings of Altaria with increased movement speed, more to all attributes and resistances, as well as health, mana and dodge rating. Then for gloves, we got the Plated Gauntlets with armor, increased melee attack speed, more dexterity, health, and even more reduced bonus damage taken from crits. Then for boots, we got the Foot of the Mountain with armor, increased movement speed, more endurance and more to all attributes. This is for sure the best boost for defenses, as we are mainly focused on being a super strong melee mage, so getting great armor and endurance is very important. And then lastly for relic, we are using the Diotan's Bloody Nim with ward per second, more dexterity, levels to shatter strike and increased mana regen. So overall, this is the best case scenario setup, which should be more of an example of what stats and modifiers to look for. But no matter what you have, try to build around increasing as much defenses as possible, because we are going to be in melee range, and unlike other mage builds, we will need a lot more HP. And now finally we've come to the gameplay, and I will show you two different rotations, so one for general AoE farming and the other one for single target slash against bosses. And by the way, as most of the skills are automatic, so these rotations are extremely easy. So first up we got our AoE rotation, and for this one we want to start our fights by casting the teleport to bolster our defenses. Then second, set the enhanced weapon to auto cast on cooldown for consistent damage boost. Then next, use the Shatter Strike as your main attack, and keep it swinging until the enemy drops or you're out of mana. Then when your mana runs low, then hit them with the Mana Strike to keep it topped up and back up. Next up, activate the Flame Ward permanently when you sense incoming damage. And lastly, keep your teleport buffs active by recasting it before they run out. And then second of all we got bossing, which to be honest already covered a little bit in the first rotation. But to basically summarize it, then this time we want to start fights by keeping your defensive buffs up at all the time to make a full use of them. Then spend your mana aggressively to stack the bleeds on yourself as fast as possible. Next, use the flame ward as your lifeline, so use it to block heavy incoming damage, especially during big boss attacks. And then of course when using Shatter Strike, aim carefully and position yourself smartly, so both the left and the right swings would land on the boss for double the damage output. So let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then you definitely don't want to miss my previous top 3 best builds video, where I showed even more powerful builds, so click the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.